Hello Blender folks, welcome back to Pxy-VERSE. Today we are back with this webcomics project, 3D webcomics. Of course, because it's 3D, there is the challenge of the pre-production, or at least what I'm calling pre-production, which is getting all the 3D assets ready, like character, scenery, props, assets, everything. Fortunately, my new plan is going well currently because I've made a very limited scene in my mind. Yeah, I've written I've written a small script or just a synopsis, had some ideas in my mind and then wrote down and then decided what did I need for that scene. And yes, so I need her, the character, the main character, Dorothy. The materials, the shaders, the texture, it's really bad. There's no texture actually, it's just this is EV. And Workbench, it's even better than EV because we are having these options here, right? But my objective would be to make a dual compositing with I was testing here, but this is imported in this scene is not working very well. I think it is out of date also, this one, so I don't know where is my latest version, so probably I need to delete this one. It is a failure. It's not even worth showing what it does. But so the Workbench is very good because of the, graphically speaking, colorful. It is not gonna use specular lighting. This is very difficult to adjust actually, but both, yeah. So these are not for the render engine. This is just a solid viewport. So, but we can have it here. We can set for rendering here. So, but this doesn't work with procedural texture. A shame. It doesn't work with, that means we need to bake any procedural texture, even if it's just color, we need to bake it into and so this breaks the UVs, or this has a lot of complications because it stops being procedural. But what I'm doing is that, okay, and also there's no EV lighting, all that. So what I'm doing is that I'm bringing the EV as the top compositor. So it will be first as render layers. I've already explained that many times. Then yeah, I'll bring here a ambient occlusion because I think maybe it's not necessary in this approach, but I think it will be positive. Here of course some base compositing, but this I need to review right now. And all these, the nodes is not very different, and this is something for the Workbench. But scene by scene, this needs to be adjusted because it will depend on. So this is the render engine. It's the same camera, the same scene. It's just a linked duplicate which you can create from here. And then we have some Kuahara, which might be suffering some issues here. I used to use an alpha over here, but it's not. Sometimes it can work, but mix is better. No, sorry, not mix. Mix is the alpha over. Oh, man. Okay. So I was using it wrong. It's the multiply. But still, there's something weird about the. I don't know what it's doing. So there are a lot of. The size of the Kuahara seems. Yeah, so this node group here that I've appended, it's broken, but and it's old. So I'll need to recover the So for now I'll keep it though, and let's get back here. So by compositing, dual compositing, we can see it in real time here, a shame. You see, there is something about viewport compositor tab not fully supported. Yeah, because I have two viewport layers. So it is applying, it will be applying the, it would be applying the compositor for the EV, and maybe even for, because I'm the scene that is using the EV render engine, but it might be using those ones coming from the workbench, which is the other scene, but it's a linked copy, so it's nothing different here. Whenever I change something here, it changes there. Sometimes there are specifics that, you see, there are specifics that don't update. Sometimes the camera gets displaced, I have no idea why. But in principle, what we can do, yes, we can change some stuff here like this. So one is EV, so we can change these settings. It's confusing, but it works. So we can also, like this will be work. Yeah, let's simplify. And EV workbench, that's okay. After, if they broke, eventually we just create another and change the settings again to, and here we need to set the workbench already from here, the first original scene, then we go back to EV, and then we link duplicate, so then we just have to switch here to workbench. So it's because it will intake this data that we've placed in the original. All right, and so it's very safe to delete this. Of course, then we might have to rename here, and but that's a little detail. And then this will appear when we render. So I've been exploring this for many months already, not too much, but sufficient to know that this is very, very accurate. While, because EV real time good, but it's very, very hard to get actually sensible, stylish rendering from EV. It's just too hard. Like no matter what they did, what they do, it just doesn't work for cartoonish styles. Many of them, graphism. It's, or I'm exaggerating. It works, but it's not good. It's very, very hard to get something very cool actually. And so this is why the workbench itself is much better than Cycles and EV on its own, except that it doesn't have lighting. Imagine it has lighting, but it's not these light objects. It's are world sources coming from and 4 directions, and we can't really control very much. We don't have a special effect, so yeah, a shame. So but on its own, if we just for the some aspects of the texture, the colorful, it's just much better than everything else. If it received some support, workbench render engine, that will be top tier for cartoony render. So since we cannot use all its features, now since it doesn't have all these features, we can still compose them. So what I need to do in this scene, besides, yeah, there's a list of things that I would need, and if I don't list this for my project, I might end having some difficulties in progressing while I, especially when, well, indifferently if I'm doing live stream or not. So what I'm going to do is then I'm gonna make a text file here, and we're gonna bring here a Shift F11, I think. Yeah, I've been using this. Then we swap this to the apparently I'm having trouble swapping this. Okay, so I do. Okay, my Blender just crashed. Let's go back. Modular dark corridors. And something about. This is crashing Blender. Yeah, whatever. I should report that Blender 4.4.3. So I'm gonna bring it here. Then we're gonna save here. Let's just try to swap this. I didn't swap. I've lost my text editor. Okay, asset browser here. Okay, then we got this. Let's add a new one. Let's protect, and this will be to scene. 3D web comics, whatever. So this is to-do list for this. I don't have a name for the scene, for the storyline, the small scene that I'm gonna make. But since we got here, we can start by getting some text doing. So to-do list. So basically we start with so fix the compositor. Okay, so there are two things here. Get dual compositor. Record, register, how do you add something as a assetize, mark asset, right? Assetize dual compositor. Okay, so this is one thing. Then I need some create assets, like props, which will be like furniture. So it's like I would need shelves, books, and CD. CD-ROMs, whatever. It's not CD-ROMs, but something I like, something close to that, some content, right? Need some sort of desk, and then small plants, desk, vase, plant, notebook, right? So then we get, could be digital stuff, right? Then we need some sofa, like unique person. I can make better ones. I think I need an L sofa. That would be nice. Then what is chair, bench? No, we can get a those, yeah, low table. Uh, let's get EV here, right? So in this direction, according to, yeah, so this is too big, it's not matching. Yeah, we need to revise the size of all this. So this is matching a little better, of course, but the positioning is not good. So yeah, I think this, we're gonna get rid of this. It's really not working. This one is working, but I think it shouldn't be here. Instead, low table. Then what else we could get? Yeah, so there's, in Mass Effect, there's Kazumi room. I was quarters, I don't know, it is something like that. So I'm getting some inspirations, but of course my room will be, I'm trying to make yeah, I'm wasting time trying to make it very procedural. It's no, modular. It's not gonna work very well. It's too complicated, right? It's also hard to deal with the creativity aspect, because everything needs to be taught in special ways. So yeah, enough problems, right? Already. So yeah, we're not gonna go for procedural then, and for modular, for not for this, but for the corridors out there. Yes, we don't see them. They are something here. There's some stacking, bad stacking stuff here, which I'll need to. Okay, so it's a cross thing, right? So okay, let's use this one. What is, okay, this is the for the ceiling. And there's, this thing is in the way. Okay, I'll have to reorganize this, doesn't matter. But we have some crossroads there. We have some stuff going on. We have a door, which is horrible, so we're gonna change the materials for many things here. The idea that I had to make this room as part of this is just to preserve the theme of the dark corridors. Maybe this is good. So this, then I had the temptation to make this room as modular as the corridor, but maybe that's a stupid idea. So yeah, so here I take more freedom. Let's see, yeah, let's continue with here the okay, what I can do is add here a new collection called room, and I'm gonna put it here. This is Dorothy rig. She can, so in principle whatever is here is from this room. So I'm gonna give this a now we'll keep this like this. and there are some things that didn't move properly. Now they did, so we keep this new just in case we add something. So I need to rename this. So this is a area light, is that correct? Yeah, so this is an area light which is very faint. And actually let's change here. Yeah, these are the first lights I was making, but they don't seem to provide anything interesting. Yeah, so maybe this one is working better, and this one maybe I just delete. Yeah, and EV is just too dark. I would, if I'm using reflections, I've learned that I need to make this spot thing, that, no, it's not spot, this light probe. So yeah, but I hope I don't need to make something like that, but let's assume, let's make a test and see if that, then I have to, this we cannot enter on edit mode, right? So there's no edit mode for that. Let's isolate these two objects. Let's try to, so no edit mode, so it's just about scaling and also changing this. I watched a tutorial about this. So this is just like lattice. And this can get super complicated regarding precision. Apparently it's very hard if we want to prevent, for instance, some light leaking. Does it have scale? Yeah, so can I apply that? Does it even make sense to apply? Maybe it's a, oh no, it doesn't apply. Okay, interesting. So no, very strange object. Okay, then we got this, and for some reason what happened, okay, because I numpad slash, right? So in the middle of this volume stuff, and I don't know, divide by 2. I'm not doing anything realistic here. Yeah, so this will handle reflections, and so maybe it would make this spotlight bounce, the light bounce here and there. I don't know, I never, when I've made these tests for the first time, I was doing some volumetrics, I think, which another, some time ago, many iterations of Blender ago. So I think this is just sort of bakelite cache. It will capture, it will take, I don't know how much time, it will capture something. Okay, this was fast. So this is taking EV's ray trace data, light data, and each of these points should be capturing But the problem is that I don't without a tutorial I have marked it so I can access, but not in the live stream, so I don't know how do I see if anything has changed. Doesn't seem to do anything here. Probably I'm missing something crucial. So let's leave this here because maybe this will be useful. Still useful, even if regarding the ceiling, all that, this is far from fixed. So let's get here some the object. This might be better, or random for better visualization. Yes, this is good. Let's enable the rig model. Okay. All right. So there is the bar, or I don't know how to shelves. Yeah. So drinks, whatever. Bar and drink. No, separated stuff. Okay. Then anything else that there's already a bed with some pillows, and yeah, okay, this is sufficient. Then of course there are every one of those things, they'll need some refresh, new materials to adjust to this scene, and everything here actually I want to get improved in this sense, even the materials, right? So we'll try to do a lot of, instead of reusing, yeah, so materials. So this is part of the asset, so gonna get a lot of stuffs here, like we need gonna try some carpet, then we try to have some wall metal, then we have a floor metal or floor rubber, or floor wooden something, why not, no? Or stone, wall stone, yeah, that could be interesting. I just had an idea, you know, those architecture design of maybe that can work. Yeah, so we also gonna try something like carpet, wall carpet. Yeah, we're gonna, this carpet will be for the floor. We could also have a carpet for the floor, an asset here, magic carpet. So here's the floor carpet, like just two kinds, just trying to imagine. Let's see here, folks. Thanks whoever gave like, if that, yeah. So then wall stone, then we have here the lighting, right? But no, the light is not material, so we need more plants, right? I want some climbing tree, like where's the wall? I want something like trees or plants growing from the ceiling, from the walls, from yeah, wall growing, no, ceiling tree, or how, vegetation, whatever, hanging ferns, right? Wall ferns. That will be nice. And lamps, yeah, we need some special lamps that are so lamp for wall lamps maybe. Then we have also ceiling lamps. You need some props for this, and maybe we don't need this particular one. And finally floor lamps maybe. Well, we need to improve, yeah, the details about the windows, about the walls. This is something that I'll be doing by modeling, right? So this is not, doesn't enter as props here. Then of course there is this some types of metal, rubber, stone that it's not clear. Well, have this stone, yeah, so we'll see. Just to remember that we plastic, I don't know, maybe could be rubber, will be something rougher, but we'll see. Then the others, this can be used generically here and there, and you can have like different tones, so dark, medium, it's not clear, so gray, and light. So just let's do like tones and plastic, yeah, tones here, and rubber maybe not. Alright, then Dorothy, yes, the main character, she also, it's a good point to develop some. So here we can get very important here. We're gonna hair, I need to fix her hair. Lipstick, skin, yeah, the skin is texture, it's the texture paint. We are ready, we can do that. So then the whatever, so accessory metal, sweet, two tones of metal, because even crystal, yeah, so there's something like that. I already have some of them, but I'm gonna readapt everything to fit the new ambientation. So here we could also get eyelashes, tongue. Actually, tongue could be part of the, yeah, the we'll see. Eyes, yeah, sclera and irises and pupils. It's many things, but there are other costumes. So you have like, I have some materials to reuse, so pattern tissue 1, so this is also useful for me to recover from another. And then this lipstick can also share with the nails, can be the same color. And I'm trying to imagine if she has her other, yeah, so ornament, this is for there's suite, this suite we're gonna get like 3, so it's just some variations, and I think this could be metal tone, accessory metal, yeah, there's some other ornament metal, okay, that can be enough. Am I forgetting anything else? The gun will take just the armor stuff, right? Alright, and finally, there are a lot of stuff to create here, and compositor, okay, I'm going to find this dual compositor, and if I can find, I should find, but if I can't, I can recreate it directly here. So I can use the extension. I don't go back and forth between the files using the item tab, so I can get into here and then edit her textures there. They will auto update when I return here using edit link library. So this is the best workflow when we are using this kind of things. Of course, I would have to sort of bring it would be, I'm tempted, I should try to bring this entire block of stuff, if I could, to the, just link to the other projects of her, so that I could access in real time her materials and text with this ambientation. But this can be hard because the settings of the scene, there are plenty of stuff, so it's not trivial. And furthermore, I have to, all these things are super chaotic here. So usually what I do is that I try to yeah, I hate those things don't get proper naming, so the icons, we don't rearrange this, right? It's very hard, so we need to, yeah, I could have a sub just for the, but then you have to click and click and click and collapse, and it's not always good. So what I've been doing is, okay, let's bring the lights first. The problem is to bring the lights first, we need L, for instance, from light is like not a good letter, so we're gonna just call them, so this is area cyan, this is a point, wait, where is this one? Okay, there's a point light here which is completely useless. Then we have some assets. Okay, so what comes next? We could probably come with some groups, right? I remember that light vertex, so this is about light. So this goes to the top, and so this one is parent of this one, which is spot orange. Yeah, okay. But it doesn't need to be, right? Yeah, it can stay there, it's fine. So this, although is a mesh object, it's actually there's a special method to do this, so we can use an array we can use modifiers for instances of light objects. So yesterday a fellow came here and explained the technique. Basically, this requires instances. There are short tutorial that explains this perfectly. So instancing vertices, and then by just using array and mirror, we can affect the lights indirectly. It's not duplicated lights, it's just the same light parent to a single mesh vertex. Alright, then light vertex 1, because maybe there'll be others, so I could even do this for now. No, let's keep it simple like this. Okay, then we need the assets, right? So I think there is something else, which are the collections. Maybe we have curves and stuff. So I would start with, where is my collection to start with? Yeah, so I have this is a volume, so this, let's bring it to the light thing. And so we could parent all this to a single object, and that could be good actually. So I'm gonna make a empty here, an empty for lights, except that, yeah, let's use the cone, and let's so don't ask me why this. Okay, I'll put this cone here. So this cone is just a, so this is the 0. So actually, no, yeah, A, okay, empty A. So that means that this is empty lights. So now we bring all this inside. No, we need to parent those things, keep transforms. So now this, also this one. Okay, we need to enable it. Okay, there we go. So now this little group contains all the related light stuff, and that will help us organize this scene gradually. I could place numbers in front, but numbers, yeah, so then we need, okay, so these are structurals for the yeah, so I'm thinking curve objects, structural stuff, boolean. Okay, so B for boolean, right? So this is like can stay there. I don't need an object. Then we need, of course, the room itself. It has a wrong name here. We're gonna call it C. So here would be, well, C could be for curves, right? So we're gonna skip this and call this so mesh. It's like room, mesh room. And so instead of parenting the assets to an object, we parent, so the assets, they will be called after the, oh, we can't rename them, this is annoying. So we're gonna just, we have a have two of them, we can and link this. Okay, so since we can't rename this is not too problematic. What we can do is, let's see, we parent them to an empty, which would be D, right? Or E, right? After the room. The problem is that we want also to parent the want to have a relationship, the room to carry the assets. So yeah, so in this case, let's add another empty. This one we can use, so instead of the cone for lights, we're gonna use, for the assets, we're gonna use the cube, and this position we can adjust later, so let's place it anywhere, doesn't matter. So here we're gonna E and empty, so just to group the assets, yeah, props. And then we're gonna get all this and this and this, and Control P, and there we go. So it's here. What is this one? This is a door, so we're gonna just call the mesh door, which is like bad, right? Because it's after the room. So room door, that's whatever. And then of course these two objects we want to, so I'm gonna now add, yeah, the same position, gonna add an empty. This one we're gonna use this plane here. We can just change this after it affect only origin, so we can easily reposition this. It's just for, right, it doesn't need, yeah, if we want to reposition the things accordingly, then it will be good to relocate this properly. So it's good that it gets some alignment with grids. So it's not a terrible idea actually to have this with some sort of alignments. Yeah, here I'm already messed up with this. So apparently this doesn't work for the empty objects. So here I'm not sure what I need to do. I have to unparent and reparent, yeah. So. But yeah, I'll just ignore that. Where is the, it is here, okay. So this one, we're gonna call it the empty room, yeah. And so this one, we're gonna parent this, the door and it to it. And then we, I don't like this, but this might be required. So now we parent one empty to there. So here is this empty, which so when I carry this, everything comes together. So here the dummy should also be probably parent to the room, right? So we're gonna, this is special. Alright, and you see that this one here, which is located here, is an asset, but I'm gonna change its material because it's not conforming. It will be a special door, right? So it's not be equal to this one. We're gonna play it. So I'm gonna just how we duplicate this, Shift D, and yeah, now it's, so this we can actually delete because it's an asset. And this one, it has, I'm gonna bring this here, I'm gonna parent it to this, it's hard to see right now, the stuff, and we're gonna change its name to the mesh room door frame, yeah, which is not actually super cool, but we can make them in together. Yeah, so I'm gonna just join these two, and need to edit this stuff. So here, of course, we don't care about looks like it is suffering from solidify material, right? I forgot about that. Shouldn't I just apply this? Yeah, so procedural. Solidify is very hard to handle. Okay, now let's separate the selection. Now it has okay, let's keep the mirror and okay, hold on, folks. So for the scene to be, oh yeah, also I would like to have some landscape for the space, right? Something, at least one thing like a nebula or a galaxy, and have to learn or take something that is ready. I need some landscape like that. Could be two of them, but I think, or maybe some asteroid. Yeah, the asteroid will be good for now, but this will be start to get. So let's do something. Yeah, so space landscape. So this is simple. So asteroids. Yeah, asteroids, yeah. And there will be one bigger that is will be the base for them, and then galaxy or something. So this will be not too time consuming, I guess, because there are a lot of. I don't need something super realistic, just something interesting. And there are thousands tutorials about that. So this, as you see, I have already the stars with an EV effect that is limited, but that works. So you can keep this. The stars, they are colored even. So this is the, yeah, easy to make a shading like that, like noise textures. Yeah, it needs a little research, but there's a lot of content out there. Sky Halo, so this is the thing that in EV works better, but I think this for many scenes, my conception, this is great. gets this degradé. Yeah, if we see the black cut there, it's not it's weird, right? But if we just look from a certain, as if it was a sky, there's some direction that it works nice, right? Looks like some nebula thing, so I think it's fits fantasy sci-fi stuff for many shots. So let's see. Yeah, so I'm not gonna touch these things, although we could do some crazy stuff on top of this. So this is already EV star, so this is an asset I have here, so I don't need to play with this one. What we need is to place extra elements on that in the space. I have made this already with a planet, but I think for this scene the planet will make it a bit too familiar, unless it was some kind of inhospitable planet, which would take more would be easier to do than a galaxy. But the fact that I've made many planets, I want to make a galaxy, something that could look like a galaxy. So let's get here the okay, I'm feeling that this light is again horrible. We are going to just, I did a small pause here, just a few minutes, then I return, then we start with some materials. So I'm gonna go to Dorothy, actually the compositor, right? I need to fix this, then I can start get real good integration, even if the textures are not completed, and that is fundamental. So let's get here this light, and okay, maybe what if I made this into a another spotlight, because this is empty lights. No, it's this one, right? No, okay, it's here. Yeah, this boolean is confusing me. Let's bring this there. Okay. So as we get the lights, we want the this one. Yeah, let's hide this one, and let's bring another spotlight. Yeah, like in the middle, in the center. Scale. Yeah, I remember something wrong about the others. Yeah, can I rescale them? Can I change this and maintain the quality? I just find it weird to be going down there, but it is what it no, not this. The size, yeah, no, it's not the size, so it is another, this gizmo here. Wow, it is very far. So yeah, here it is. The okay, there is something weird when scale. Ah, it is the scale. Okay, so the scale. Right. So it's just a question of scaling. And for some reason okay, but this is still weird. Size, no. Radius, no. There is this thing here which I've already manipulated. So yeah, there's only I don't know what is this tip here. So okay, so I make this one. I'm gonna yeah, it's there. It's like that by default, right? So it's not my fault. So I didn't duplicate, so we need to get this like okay, it's very faint and I think it was eaten by the ceiling. We want to yeah, so first yeah, I think this is just for the gizmo, right? Doesn't make any difference. Yeah, this sounds relevant because then we can sort of but no, then we don't have the limits here, the orientation. So this is I need to know how the artists they use this because for me this is good enough. This will be all things in the way is not very good, right? Then we need to okay, so this one will be very large. It's like in the center we could have many of them. Let's push that it about here. You can make some rotation like here. Yeah, so I'm just substituting the others. You can make a cyan and we see that it's blending too much. It needs a lot more power to get some effect of interest. So now it's already getting something of yeah, so the idea is take about this, rotate a little. We got this. We cannot distort it, right? So it's just distorting by this kind of ellipse, all right? Rotation. Then here we could like some sort of sharpness in the lighting. Then radius here, it's also some sort of smoothness. We can get more blending from here. I think it's nice. And then power, let's try to exact this will be ridiculous. So 1000 1200, right? 1200. That sounds maybe okay, something subtle like that is not bad also. Then I'm gonna yeah, so but it doesn't need to be exactly in the center. So what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna place it here. I'm gonna try to, why not, right? Let's parent it to the same. Now it won't work because we need another of this. We're gonna try. So this will be a spot cyan, and gonna try to parent here. We see what happens, and what happens, of course, it gets mirrored, it gets arrayed, but of course in a way that is equivalent to the other and has nothing to do because we need a different disposition here. So we're gonna unparent this, and we're going to reset the location. No, we're gonna bring it there. So yeah, I want it to be in the middle. Let's if I duplicate this object, does it bring its okay, no, I don't want to duplicate. I'm gonna create a new one. Let's take the soundtrack. Okay, so I'm gonna add the single vert. Where are you? Okay, there's a single vertex there. We're gonna bring it there. What is the parent of the other? So this currently relations has no parent, but we can parent it to the, oh yeah, it's parent to the empty light. Okay, do this, then a light vert 02. This one is being unused, so here we're gonna do the instancing again, trick, where it was instancing vertices. Okay, I don't know what the others align to. I have to make some tests for the other things, but this is all I need. Then we get the spot cyan to be parented there, just like this. And now if I move this, of course the light moves with it, but now we are going to add an array modifier, and this is not the relative offset, we use the constant offset. So I'm gonna do something like this. I think that, yeah, that's nice. Not super cool, but you don't need to leave it at the same. The light will be the same, but we can still play with some of the positioning. Okay, let's try this. Then what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna shift this, and I'm gonna invert here, and there we go. Array left, array right, even though I'm not sure what is, yeah, left and right. Okay, and these are actually just this, and if I want I just move by the group. Ctrl Shift 1, show the names. Ctrl Shift 3, this is my shortcut, will show the axis, so at least I see the names just in case. I can hide the... Okay, if I hide the object, I hide the lights, so this is not good. But some objects are... There's this light coming from. It's like it's duplicated. I don't understand. Looks like a... Yeah, like it double. It's like it is doubling the light. I don't quite get it, but let's leave it this on. And this is the light that, yeah, I have here, but it's being useless. The spotlights are being so far a little better at... Some angles are good, but it gets a little boring actually. Yeah, it gets a little boring indeed. It creates... Yeah, it's suffocating somewhat, because then we have this space between them, and so I'm gonna hide because I don't seem to have achieved a good result, but I get this, so you see this white space seems much better, although it's dark. If I get this sign back, if I could just get light from this thing, from this lamp, of course, then... But it's just ugly. I just can't get... You see, so some objects react like her, react brutally, and while others... So this cannot be exaggerated, so I really don't know how to handle those things. Disc, oh, disc. Okay, so maybe this ellipse, maybe we could try this. And you can try to change this color. Yeah, I remember this idea, so I'm gonna try to... What about this? That's... Okay, so this is about the modeling there. We can have some emissions. Yeah, so good stuff can come from this, but we'll need to try more. Can't push this too much. Okay, I like this bluization of everything. It seems to be producing something of interest. The light from behind, right? Of course we could, yeah, but it's precisely this dark blue that then it combines with the orange color. So this is the opposed color, so this is, and it is like that. Okay, and then here, let's see if we can do anything about alright, then I'm gonna try something else. We're gonna shift D and rotate on the other direction and see if there's anything I can do with this here this time. Now you see the lighting from here is now you see how the glass is reflecting stuff. Yeah, so I need some reference. So these bottom lights, sometimes they are interesting. Maybe not for this kind of room, right? Something like that is always interesting. It's not exactly what they have there, but yeah, this I need to explore this kind of. It's abstract, right? It doesn't make sense right now, but it gives some ideas that could work. So if I parent that to, for example, this vertex here, it would array, and then I can try to play with that, although yeah, these are not functional now. Yes, okay, so the bug seems to have disappeared, so I need now to use this and see if we can if there's anything. Yeah, they're getting massive distortions on the sides and becoming somewhat nonsensical. Yeah, so and the other way would be to see if I can change the modifier. Control C. Why it is moving the central one, I don't know. So I'm just going to delete this, keep this but hide. We just keep the, yeah, at least we've added this one. It's a very subtle effect, but that creates space there in the ceiling on one of the corner, and some sort of dive in here diagonally, which merged with the oranges. It's sort of interesting. Okay, folks, so I'm gonna just 2 minutes here. I'll be right back. 3 minutes. Back, folks. Alright, so gonna get the compositor. I need to find the good asset, and then I get rid of the wrong one that is polluting my compositing dot what? Yeah, there are two of them, and I think they are just repeated, right? Why not test it right here, right? Yeah. So let's try here. I have some backups, so I think I don't risk anything. This is clearly, yeah, this was an older version. Although some experimentations here, yeah, no, I don't. It can't be tested here in this. So if it was good, it was just for a particular scene. So alright, let's see. Pose library, compositing. So I'm gonna try here and try here. I would just want to see if they are. There's alpha over, and there is alpha over. Okay, so this is, both are old. I will just clear asset, and I'm gonna delete everything here. Actually, not everything, I'll just keep. Alright, gonna save. Let's find. Okay, I'm gonna change this starship instead of all this name. Welcome to the new scene starship. So this is the big taking some time to okay, finally we are in. What place is this? We are in the okay, the back side of the so what material is this one that seems to be working well for this glass inner space? Oh, glass inner space, alright, good. And this one, glass outer space. So how come the stars are not being distorted from here? Yeah, a lot of glass materials are working here, despite the fact I'm not caring about reflections. Okay, but it's not. I'm not here for this. I'm here because of the compositor. And the compositor is causing some trouble here. Let's see if I get render performance. This seems to be bad for this particular project. It's already on GPU, alright. Okay, so what I need to check here is what are we using. Ah, this is the new one. Okay, so I have the EV first, then the workbench later. So this is a good version. Multiply here, got some rerouting, fancy stuff. This is the glare for the this is big great. So, and finally an alpha over here for a very specific. Okay, this alpha over is because of some. Alright, so this is a. I need to assetize this one, and if it's possible that. So what is this node dual compositing that I have here? This is the one that I bring but from to the other project, but this one is a group node that is like old, right? So it would cost me too much to be testing, so I'm just gonna clear asset. And what I'm going to do now is that I'm gonna pick, I think that's like this, right? And Control G. Okay, I cannot put the render layers in a group, but I can probably get all these. Control G. I have no idea how I hate those groups, this system of groups. Okay, this. So I just want the group so that I can save a Okay, I want to mark as asset and so we're gonna call this node group dual. Uh, okay, but oh, here. Mark as asset. There we go, finally. Then I can ungroup. Control G. Also, I always forget this kind of shortcut. Alright, and oh no! What it has. Maybe another reason to hate groups. I have to save the file, I guess, so there's no way around this. Just reorganize those. Ambient occlusion. This will be the final steps. And there we go. Okay, so so what I'm doing in this is that I'm not compositing with regular color balance the workbench, because I'm treating that, okay, this colors, the workbench already is giving good stuff to the colors anyways, and by having double this kind of stuff here, it can produce better results, of course, but it can also make it more difficult, because then we'll be stacking already colors from EV, which will be the base on, yeah, so it's confused. So I'm gonna save here, then we're going to go back here. We can see what is our camera. Yeah, we have a camera here, and we see that it's difficult to, something is not compositing very well, right? So there's ambient occlusion, something that I don't know what it is. This happens on occasions that, so I'm gonna just, after changing version to version, yeah, so this of Blender, yeah, so it's very dark, and there are some weird stuff, but we have some composition. So this is an this is the, yeah, we can compare here. So for example, let's take off the, so this is pure EV, and strangely it's not that bad. It's look like the workbench is not doing a lot of, it's making it worse. And oh, we got lots, we got some exposure madness going on. Let's see, let's reset this. No, it's not this. Let's reset this. No, it's not this. Oh, these are switch actually. Okay, gamma is just destroying the color if we play too much with that in the wrong way. We're gonna could be that, no, the Quahar, yeah, 6 was too much, so this is the alpha over, this is nothing. Ah, looks like this thing. Okay, this is just for the glare. All right. Of the stars, and here, we are getting something weird here. So this brings the composition of interesting. Alpha, maybe it's something about this. Okay, this is the ambient occlusion. I see this multiply is for these stars, right? No, it's, yes, this multiply is for this alpha over is, it's not helping anything. Just making things darker, and it, because it is getting this gamma as a FEC. Okay, so this is ambient occlusion stuff, right? But it's ignoring the star, so this is not relevant. Multiplied, so merged. If we hide this, just Alright, so if I don't have this, then what is this doing? Okay, so this node here, it is trying to get, although it goes there, but this is for the, this rerouter, the idea of here is to bring this for the start. So this will be a fact that whatever is, this is white and this is black. So it's separating the black space, of course. This could be the, when things get too black, it could start to affect the whole scene. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, so this is, so actually let's try something else. So instead of this, let's do this, and then this rerouter is just confusing me. Okay, so now I can play with this gamma, but it's just exploding. It's creating artifacts even. Why am I using this, then this thing, if it's, let's disconnect this. Okay, glare, and I just want to add stuff, right? So it's not alpha over color. Mix color, add, and the addition mask, how, I don't understand the idea of the addition, adding mask here, but let's try. Well, the fact is that this is getting, without this I don't get the stars. With the add I just get something. This doesn't seem to do anything, so maybe I do, with the add I don't need. But let's see if I, that's not glare, is this one. Here suddenly nothing is happening, so it needs to be this in this order. how this is adding. Okay, now it has disabled. Okay, it's adding nothing. Now it is adding something, and this doesn't contribute to almost anything, so it seems useless. A factor for the addition. So yeah, just add the stars background to this, and I don't understand why just the glare doesn't show itself. It seems bugged, right? It should show only itself, but it shows the. Okay, I don't need that. Let's now this is showing. All right. Saving. Okay, but this I'm doing is dangerous because this is taking data from the whole scene, so if something is too bright it will glow like a star, like it's happening here. So probably I need some setup for that, but okay, for now it seems to be working. Then we have this one, and just curious now, can we invert this? Yes, we can. So now it's not dark and things seems to be working. So now actually, yes, I want to add this and then the stuff, and it's hard to compare, so let's try to make a switch here just to check. Yeah, switch, at least switch I know how that works. First and second, and connect this and switch. So nothing happened, the addition is, and why it has this stuff, and why it has a effect. Alright, never mind, so we're just going to keep this, and we are changing the asset. No, we are not changing the asset. Oh no, so that means that I really need to get into a group. Can't I save this setup as an asset? Yeah, so I'm gonna save here, gonna assigned. I have lots of assets here that are, it's very wrong, very duplicated, so stuff that I don't really need in this scene. So let's get compositing. Okay, so I don't have, we're gonna make this stuff into a group again. So I'm gonna save, I'm gonna Control G, yeah. And then I have this madness. Occurring for whichever reason. But okay, at least we have the node group. So maybe I should keep this marked as asset, but we're gonna change here Why it doesn't... Okay, it is here. It appears... Clear asset, clear asset. I want to be sure. I can't even clear those things. They are not from this file. Most of them should not be. This is about file. I'm gonna try to assess this today. Yeah, right. It's my save incremental. They save automatically to the asset library directory that I'm working the file. So this is a terrible idea to do that. So instead I would need to be saving outside. So I'll see what I can do from these other operators. And maybe that will be a workable solution. So I'm gonna get first this group, unfortunately. F2, no, not this. Node group, so this will be dual compositing. No, this is not the... Yeah, it is the name, right? What is... I don't understand. Okay, I assume this is the real name, so dual compositing dot, yeah, so it is missing. This is a bug there, or an inconsistency. They're gonna fix this in some other yeah, they're fixing it in Blender 4.4 or so, something like that. So 0.5, I guess. Yeah, 4.4. I don't know. There will be Blender 4.5 soon, and then there will be later on an LTS, I think. Blender 5, is that it? Yeah, that would be great. Provided they bring real good stuff for rigging and animation, which I doubt. That'll take years. Okay, no, nothing to see here. So just bring this into this one to the compositing, and here we go. Now you just have to deal with this madness. So now that it is saved, I can indeed make changes here. That should save the okay, at least I remember what are those things now, how to solve this. What went chaotically. No, not this. So as I'm editing the I see, I can change those. I can change those, I understand. Alright, so I remember now the group thing. So it's like image. No, this is like EV okay, why not updating? This is workbench. No, this is ambient occlusion. And why there are so many others? Group sockets. Yeah. Node group. I thought I understood. No, apparently I don't. This is okay. Actually, yeah, just okay, ambient occlusion, EV, and wait, yeah, this is EV, this is workbench. I don't like their, and this is, so why they have this weird order, and I cannot change the order. Then I have this and this, and now suddenly okay, and this is the final output. Workbench, no, workbench, and can't we? Yeah, alright. Whatever, then I save here and probably need to re-render to see something happening here. Great, apparently, no, it is here, okay. So it is working, the group, and this is some group output. Okay, final output. So, oh, I see. We need the connect this one. Very hard to understand, but finally, for me, right? But we got it. Fine, so I believe this got updated, right? Not this, but this, whatever I made here inside immediately gets updated because I'm in the file that is sourcing this. Now, finally, let's go back to the modular dark scene, and here we're going to get finally the name block composite. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is correct, but bring it here. This seems to be the latest version indeed, yes. So don't know what are those colors. Of course they are. Okay, so I need to plug here the stuff. So workbench, EV, ambient occlusion, and final output to visualize. Then we can enter here. Now I'd really like to see what we are getting from this one. The star systems of the world is the same. Okay, then we get the surprise. All right, so here is unfortunate that this is happening. I thought I had fixed this. Okay. Well, now it's unclear, so I'm gonna just unlink. There is a setting on custom properties, just seen today on a tutorial, that could be affecting the when linking rigged models. There is something about the custom properties which needs to be specified for linking on the original file. Okay, so something about these materials just broke for EV and for some random reason. Okay, the links were apparently broken links. So something about my glass materials got broken. Strange. So it's like this is dangerous. Imagine if this happened every time we're dealing with those things, right? Instead I will close Blender. Maybe this will fix. Maybe I'm just getting too much things going on. RAM failure sometimes is the way to go. The compositing that I was doing shouldn't have nothing to do with this, right? So I'm gonna get here. I should probably just refresh then. Yeah, clearly this, so glass, simple glass outer space. I'm gonna take this off. I have something, but this is not the good one. Glass inner space, no. So we're gonna bring the materials and hope that I can, yeah, all these duplicates I need to fix. Okay, can be this one, but not gonna make the same mistake of last time. Create a new one, then bring this to the material. No, go back. I think alright, I think I've sacrificed the material. No problem. Bring it exactly here. Okay, then we assign. Okay, now this is working. Glass outer space, and then we have another glass simple, just to have it here. Alright, and then we can compare. Yeah, the glass simple it's not working here. Alright, so we're gonna bring these two up. Even if I'm not gonna use now we are gonna test. Okay, where's the camera? Okay, we have a camera here. We are gonna relink the character Dorothy. So where is she? She needs to be, okay, we're gonna have the link characters Dorothy 25 collections, link Dorothy, and we need to library. Okay, let's make a shortcut for this because this is, or we could add to quick favorites maybe, like library override is here, make, yeah, add to quick favorites. Okay, she's there, and but I think this is not sufficient because we need to go beyond. So apparently this is not sufficient, so we're gonna make remove from quick favorites. This might be a simpler version of the operation. What we really need is this one, library override, make selected, and yeah, I need like for, okay, for this one, so add to quick favorites, but just from here, yeah, there we go. Now I can, now I should be able to, yeah, so she is here, and as we can probably see, it's not super broken. Let's get back the soundtrack, folks. The Normandy Eden Prime briefing from Mass Effect 1. Alright, so something here about the specular lighting. No, just excessive contrast between the workbench lightful color as and the EV render engine. Okay, darkness of EV. Alright, so we got this, then we got the camera, then we are going to attempt finally to see this is just for some comparison, right, folks, of the effects. If there's anything good, we'll be able to spot. Alright, so what I need here is the compositing. Yeah, the compositor. We're gonna get the camera. Yeah, it's just render from EV, while this linked copy has got the workbench and with those settings. Alright. Actually, my compositing is empty. Yes, no, this is a mistake. This other scene doesn't, the compositor can exist for both, but it will render in the scene, it will use the compositor this only of the scene we are in. So it's okay, workbench doesn't have compositing, but the EV scene has got. And this is what I'm going to render from the first scene. And so first it gets some EV with ambient occlusion. Okay, let's do the save and control, not control F12. Okay, so we got some problems here apparently, that something is not okay. So apparently, oh yes, is it that this compositor needs to library, do you have to library override this thing? That will be weird, but it looks like I cannot edit this, right? And for sure there is something, so it maybe it's here. Never did this for. No, these are doesn't include the stuff. Data API is that okay? This library right make okay. So here indeed. Doesn't seem to have worked. Maybe it's not from here. Okay, so I don't know if it's not an object, it is view layers, it will not be here. Scenes, scene collections, maybe it's here. EV stars, scene collection, no, this is, it's not an object. I think, well, not an object in the sense of the 3D viewport, but maybe an object in terms of, yeah, it looks like it will be here, and for some reason okay, so this is very boring if I can't change those things here. And okay, so maybe I can then, that's just append, then that should work. Let's delete this from here, and then I think we can bring this, no, there's no reuse data. Import the assets as copied data blocks while avoiding multiple copies of nested, typically heavy data. For example, texture of material. Okay, maybe this is now pen. Import assets copied data but with no link to the original. Okay, I want this one for now. Yeah. Then let's reconnect those things. And so now, yes, now we can edit. So we got some interesting look, right? So from here, but of course we will have to see what's going on regarding the something about maybe some transparency, a mistake on the no, nothing to do with this. Okay, we can test one by one, so let's start with where's the workbench? The work, okay, we can test this. This is empty. Okay, it looks like I know. So we need to reset this. Gonna get here, delete the workbench, then get this linked copy, then here we change this to workbench, then we go to layout, let's swap here. Okay, the camera is the same. I'm gonna add here a could be that I've just forgot to very basic stuff. Maybe I disabled the just this instead. It was not something about the composite. So this is door frame. What is just checking? Okay, door A, door B. No, this is not the frame. So this is whatever. Hate those self classifications that don't allow to. All right, so now I have this, and I can finally check here. We can already from camera see. Apparently, there's no difference from the. Okay, of course, I mean there's no compositing in the second. It doesn't duplicate, right? Wait, it is here. Okay, but this is the old compositor, right? The old render, I mean. So let's re-render now, and actually saving here. We need to reconnect, I guess. Reset this stuff here to workbench. Nothing seems to be appearing. This might just be glitchy. Alright, so now we start to get something of interest. Yes, I think I'm starting to see the cavities, the things of unique to the workbench, but we'll be able to check by just swapping here. Well, no, something. Okay, ambient occlusion is right. EV is right. Oh gosh, I forgot. Sorry, folks. And here we need to change the. And this data, it's all taken from the first one when we edit from here. but then we get it back to EV, and these are not the same settings, although they may look similar. They are not like, it's not the same what is here. They don't copy. This is unique, and these are also unique, so it's don't mess up. Yeah, it's confusing, but we get used to this. So here is EV, we go to EV, and this is workbench, and we see workbench. Of course, these settings for the render, not for the solid viewport. This is what could be. When I move the camera moved there because they are linked copies. Only certain features don't get linked from one scene to the other. Okay, now this means that I can re-render this, and now we'll start to see the mix, right? And of course, because the workbench was horrible, we are not getting a super cool combination. But if I check the compositor, V, Alt V, we can at least now get, let's say, we can at least see here the effect of without this is ambient occlusion, so without any workbench and with workbench. So it's very nothing of interest happens, but we can explore the workbench from, for example, this is the workbench. It has nothing to do, right, with the, so I could try to, for example, no, okay, I want to Alt J this, okay, gonna add it to we're gonna see the effect of this on the workbench. So gonna reset. So these are the darks. We will get some bluish color, dark bluish color, not too much, right? This is too strong. So it will stay close to here, and we just play more here. And here the mid-tones. So here we can, alright, the mid-tones, I imagine if we have blue here, we could get some green or orange. Let's get some teal. And here we can try to brighten up some stuff, or not, nothing like, yeah. Closer to the cyans here. Maintain, not neutral, but maintain some coherence. And here, finally, we're gonna blow up with some yellow, or the lights, the brightness part. Or could make them like purple, pinkish and reddish, so it kind of goes circular, right? Okay, so if with this we could already have maybe no, it doesn't really do much, because the DV is already too colorful in this approach, in this version of Blender, in this but we have other EV stuff there. Let's do pure EV. Let's ignore the ambient occlusion. This is for very specific effects. Usually I was placing many of those things in the workbench. So what is this? We could change these values here. You see there are some glitches. Even on EV this is very problematic actually. I should report this ambient occlusion thing in the compositor. I don't remember seeing it. Okay, and of course if I'm using this I'm using this one, and we can the posterize effect that is blowing up everything. This can be very interesting in certain conditions. Oversaturate stuff. Value is the brightness. Then we can play again with those yeah, there are two stacking things here. What is this? I don't know what happened there. Oh yeah, it's just a mistake. Mid-tones and yeah, then we can play also with the gamma and exposure, and yeah, we can achieve some interesting, but it's hard to have something like valuable, but for a scene, for example, it must be very well planned or investigate. But see, we can have some interesting tones, old vibes, or this kind of nice, right? Alternatively, so this is either this one. Oh, this one is not enabled. This one is a lot of brightness for the tone map for the EV from compositing. But you see, this is not helping with the colors. Wait, yeah, just having it at 0 here is very... We need some contrast, I guess. No, it's not the contrast. Now, this is happening because I have this gamma and exposure. No. That's the default. Yeah, it's a larger value. Okay, my Blender is about to crash. I'm gonna save. I remember this glitch and bug. Alright, so you see, every time I open the scene, this happens to the... Could be the custom property problem. So I'm gonna unlink for now. I'm gonna try to do this without the character. Gonna Okay, so this happens because the linked character is still on the other. So this is need to update. Alright, save. We're going to compositor and I'm gonna re-render that. This is of course the switch, right? And this has, let's see, what little to do with the workbench, right? So it's like with that I'm doing here with this EV, I'm just getting a lot of colorful thing. Maybe it's the job that Blender developers, I can't confirm, but maybe it's their latest developments. I can't prove it anyhow, but maybe they are improving EV to be more you see, this would mean that I'm not compositing any workbench to here, and the contribution of the workbench here is being very little in comparison to what I was used to in previous Blender versions. So it could be that they are trying to close the gap, and that will be very nice. So I like it being very colorful, right? Just as I was using, and the ambient occlusion is sort of trying to solve those cavity things that the ridges, cavities that the workbench offers. oops, not that, this instead. Okay, let's going back to the switch. And yeah, my scene was exploding. So here this has a lot of contribution to what was happening, right? I don't know what's giving this. Okay, it was the color balance, of course. Something about it. Don't want any blue here. You got blue, dark. Strange that it's very different what it does. It's like it's not really affected. It's like it's masked. I don't know. This is not super. This secondary one is doing way more crazy stuff. Without requirement of posterizer. Alright, but we get the idea. All the sort of things are just, yeah, so this tone map is, yeah, this is really different from previous versions. So interesting. So have to keep rebuilding those stuff. This is pretty good, and maybe I can. This will be clearer seeing the effects of the cavity stuff from Workbench in compositing when I get closer to a character, right? Because the scenery here is not, it's too simple geometry in general, so. But okay, we got something good here, which is we recovered the compositor acetize gas. We did this as group node group. Must append, not link. Alright, then just a note. I would like to go to the file of the character, right? Dorothy, because here I can create similar setups. So if I get to EV here, how is it possible that there's so much light? There's some world. Oh yeah, it's because of this maybe. Okay, so maybe these lights are super wrong. Now I've edited them recently, so I'm just gonna check here. Yeah, this one might be only the only exaggerated one. Yeah, one is fine. And so what I'm going to do here is that I'm gonna bring the space, because this EV will allow us to, so it's not compositing, it's shading. We're gonna use nodes, gonna go to world, and here we can use the Shift F1. We're gonna get to the worlds, and yeah, that's all the same thing, I hope so. We're gonna okay, so for some reason okay, I think I need to bring here, right? And here we go. So go directly to the world, and it's locked, so I think this will allow me. Okay, it's fine to be locked for this one. I'm not gonna touch this, so I'm gonna go back here, and for some reason we are not seeing, probably something about the transparency, wrong thing that I've wrong setup here. So got space. Not that this reflects anything to the character, but it helps creating the ambientation. So take off the floor, and we are going to yeah, so in workbench we were able to see that we have some cool stuff going on for the character already on workbench. It's very different than EV, and this combined here will do very well, I believe, but this is not the one. What we need here is this one. Okay, so already got the settings here. Cavity, both type, world and screen is both, so got yeah, cavity, so get everything. Check here, so without cavities, with cavity, so it's a lot of improvements. See the flare that we have in the edges of the, and you can even have an outline with some color that usually for a scene, generic scene, some sort of sepia purple. I just let this one. And specular light is very hard to control, so not using this. And but sometimes it's cool. So this is the render of the workbench, so it's super good, but it doesn't have local lighting effects nor procedural textures. So I don't have any texture going on here, special thing for texture, not even for the skin, needs texture painting, and I intend to do all that. So EV will be the first scene, and then I'm gonna do the trick copies. No, I'm gonna do the trick, which is link copy, and from here the second, right, we're gonna go for workbench, that workbench. Now I go back here and get a compositor and use nodes, and here is where we need the library asset library. We need the, not this, but we need the compositing, and the, I'm gonna, yeah, append, and yeah, because I want to be tweaking this, we need to experiment here. It could be on the other scene, but it's always, it's heavy, it's getting bugged all the time, so that's why I believe, so shift D here. The scene 001 is the workbench. Here we need, forgot something, so the scene of the EV needs the ambient occlusion, render layers. The other doesn't need, workbench can't use anyways, but it will be wrong, right? We'll be missing a setting, but it's secondary, you don't care. And now we can get the ambient occlusion pass and the EV, and we get now this output here, and we check here and we open this, and now I'm gonna save this file, and I'm going to get the camera and check something here. We'll see what this will make to the character. Yes, we could also get her a pose maybe of interest. Where is the armature? It's hidden. Okay, of course. Let's do this on this mode. We don't want to be looking at all these bones. We just need these ones. Why I'm forgetting the control. Okay, I don't need to do much of this. It's just some generic thing. Looks like that we are missing something about the. There's a glitch. I need to report that too, about the auto IQ option. Okay, so never mind. Don't. Let's just. Let's try this, and Yeah, those controllers of the eye are not working very well. So let's just render this. We're gonna make the tests now. Okay, so this is not good, right? These colors are very very looks like those printed colors, right? SMIC. And so here we are using this, right? So this will be EV apparently. Ambient occlusion doesn't seem to be doing anything, very strangely. Very strange that it's not. There's another thing is that we could try to invert those. So the priority being of the workbench, but I don't think this will be. Is this the no? The workbench is not this, right? So why it is? This is the workbench. Of course, it's being yeah, it's the workbench plus those things here. So here, pure workbench, right? So of course EV gets too dark. So the problem of doing this inversion here is that my first scene would be the not reliable because we don't see the lightings. It's more cumbersome, so I found that this approach would be better. So okay, so strangely this is not working. We need to play more with those things here for EV, right? So we got pure EV, then color balance. Let's try the switch first. Enable this. So pure EV. And get tone map. Wow, this is very. Yeah, so strange as we add some small contrasts, start to fix this somehow, right? And then when it reaches halfway, no, maybe it was a bug and they fixed. Who knows? There's a change of behavior. Now it seems linear. This adaptation not working, doesn't seem any good. So yeah, so this all seems too bold approach to. It's like really bad for the colors. At least in this setup here, so the colors are already bad, right? And this even do a worse job. So I think this stone map is not good for... Okay, I need from here now. Saturation. Why not desaturate EV? Yes, why not? This can be interesting because then we can bring... I'll see. Let's see what that... These are making the scene darker. Let's cut off all this here. Yeah, still too dark. Something about... Oh yeah, the ambient occlusion is not working because I forgot to... No, it is here. Alright, so what is going on? Okay, it's not connected. Wrong connector. That's why it was not working. Structural mistake there. So here we're gonna... Now we get ambient occlusion. Aha. So you see, this is interesting. This is just multiply for the ambient occlusion, and here we mix the... We want full workbench. So the idea here is, since I'm getting this one, let's do this instead. So I'm desaturating EV, and I just want a node here to... I always forget the... Okay, here. So I can click here and see what the workbench is looking like. So what if we use this one? Yeah, maybe this is not necessary. So keep the desaturation. EV too dark, so we can compensate with this value. Not too much though. These are being skipped. This will be better. And then, okay, we got the ambient occlusion, sort of fixing the what we... So the color will be coming now, more color from the workbench, but I wonder if this is... What's the advantage if the EV colors are actually not that bad in this setup? So let's move this up and let's duplicate this. Let's do this for the Alt J. Hold Alt. Let's disconnect this. Okay, connect, plug here. Let's see what we can do regarding colorizing workbench. Okay, back here. Unfortunately, we can't check much from this state. Let's try, okay, darks, we're gonna get deep blue. Mid-tones, let's try this teal and a little more, yeah, like about here, or more greens even, yeah, more greenish. More cyan here, and the highlights, we try some reds there. Now actually yellow about here. Alright, then we connect, but this doesn't help too much. It's like, yeah, this multiply here is just too bad for whatever we got good here. We get everything broken here. This is just a super exposure, and that's not that good. So actually it's very difficult to sacrifice the color from the EV to get workbench color. It's just we need the full multiplication. Well, not actually. What is happening? This is full EV. This is full, no, and this is EV plus workbench. Let's do the inverse. So now we start with workbench, and it will mix EV. Yeah, the result is the same, but the thing is that the EV carries the lighting effects. So this is why it needs to go first, and so yeah, so there can be advantage in colorizing EV in some sense if you want some, but desaturating, colorizing workbench more. Yes, that's what I mean. And here what is happening, that we, after the mix, we are having to use lots of stuff like that to fix the mix. Yeah, so this is very, very complicated. Of course, the ambient occlusion. Yeah, the ambient occlusion is little responsible for the darkness. it's the EV yeah, any of this EV. What is getting, except this explosive one. But this when I mix the workbench with, I just can't get, again, the mixing just doesn't allow good colorize. It's like I would need something different. Yeah, something like this. Screen. So multiply is like the default, right? But in those cases, because of what EV does to the soft light, yeah, and then I don't know, but yeah, so occasionally on shading people would use this what about add light and seems, I'm not saying that this what I have here is good. What is interesting though, let's copy this, Alt J, hold out, let's bring it here. I'm oversaturating the workbench. What I need to change here is, of course, I'm using this second, right? Aha, so we're start to get something of interest here. This with all this thing. So look at the multiply. It's really so lightens, darken also. No, it's not dark. It's color burn. No, soft light. Okay, lighten seems to be the, and of course after there will be these other passes that, oh, I wasn't even looking at them. Right, so interestingly, with the lighten we don't need this stuff, so we can just bypass them. How it would be, it will be like this and this, and then this, and then this. All right. So the only thing that I've really learned doing this right now in this is that for the current state multiply, yes, I started with the alpha over node, which is equivalent to the color mix. It's either one, either the other. It can produce good results. What I was talking about was about the light. So I started with the alpha over. I'm gonna make some tests here, addition. But now that I'm mixing EV at first, it's too dark, typical of EV. Then the mix, instead of multiply, EV plus workbench, gets something like lighten. I'm using the first one. The second is super bright because it's using the tone map, but we don't need this one. Could be nice for some scenes, but we don't need. And then of course there's the funniest one for crazy results. Posterize, if I ever get it to work. For some reason it's why it's not. Okay, yes, it is doing something, but the workbench is sort of fixing it too fast. If you like, look here what I'm doing. It's super weird, right? And but EV, the lighting, right? Is lighten of multiply would like do what I was used to, right? But with lighten it looks like that we have way more power from the workbench to the second, maybe. I don't think that, and I think it's, if they are some 100% mix, I think the result is the same. Yeah, if not exactly, about the same, right? So we get this idea that the lighten can sort of reinforce the with giving good color results, right? It's not burning too much. And then we can double colorize, maybe. Do the EV needs colorization. Would it even need those things? And so by getting the colorfulness of the workbench is super. I like this approach. and you can desaturate and get also desaturation very strongly from workbench light, and this gives good color control. Yeah, fucking good color control. Yeah. And so this means that probably we should try to get more stuff here, but like even the, let's try this one. Yeah, no, too much, right? For some reason the face is more affected. Okay, in the very end it can be interesting. So okay, but it will posterize the, instead let's get it right before the Kuahara, so it will still get Kuahara red, Kuahara red. If we want this stuff, right? And yeah, so we could also, so bypassing those things, of course. The question, we could try to bring this into the workbench just for specific controls, but I think like before, I mean reset and reset before the mix, the lighten. Not that this after or would be actually super relevant, but it's good in a sequence here. We could just mute them. Let's see if we place them here. Yeah, it's like equivalent, so if it's equivalent, so I could say here the following. Yeah, I'm gonna delete Control X this. So what I can do is that pick this as Control J. It's not what I wanted. So it's like if multiply, then we need to bring Alt J, like this. Okay, it's getting unnecessarily complicated, but it's good for memory, muscle memory. So okay, so this is one render that we can get from this. Yeah, that's fine. I think can do much better, but it's a good. See, there's shining effects, there are EV lighting, reflection, there's also metallic stuff, whatever, and colorful cavity stuff, workbench. It's like we can do a lot of things. So the combination works well. If I was just counting with the EV, I think we would have some limitations here. Let's save this to, what is this 2D card? Yeah, let's save here, whatever. So dual compositing 01, and just scratching the colors, right? But it's already good. Now yeah, so the EV, right? If I'm gonna save, if I were here to just have EV stuff, well, that's, okay, like it's refusing to preview for some crazy reason. So this is EV, right? It's too dark, and this is workbench. So with EV I get the stars, I get the effects, but I'm getting this too dark stuff. Scene world, okay, but it's too bright now and it's terrible. The colors are really this compositor, right? It's not compositing all that I would need. So if we gonna connect here directly there, let's ignore. So now, well, you see, despite what I'm seeing here, let's swap, let's use the second one. Yeah, so I have brightness, but the colors are very, as usual, it's what EV does in my opinion. Usually it destroys the colors. It's very hard to get good stuff, and for some reason before compositing the other scene I was getting interesting results. But for the character in this scene I don't have that same not being lucky here. Maybe I need to be. Okay, so I didn't save, right? I just loaded, and this is a good result. And I don't think we can achieve this with EV only, like No. This will be very tough. And there is the cavity stuff going on, so there's a mix between sharp edge of shading and smooth edge. So this illustrative quality, it's just very difficult to get spontaneously from the other render engines like EVE and Cycles. Yes, Cycles will tend to get it all pointillized, right? Noisy. It's very rubberish. It's nice, but it's very hard to get for cartoonist stylized stuff. Variations of that same pattern. Maybe a very good renderer could do composite. Yeah, but it's very challenging because the lighting system itself will render system itself will tend to disrupt what we need, which is some, I don't know, it will blend the colors in all sorts of ways. Either it's too cut off like EV, that we have self shading, which is self shading is okay, it's fantastic, but it's just one style, one genre of graphism among others. So either we get something that is really that, or we get something that's completely like look like plastic toys, and anything mixed in between will be very hard. Alright folks, so you see, for real time, yeah, there's just no comparison, right? If we go back to the scene I was working on, modular corridor dark, so here somehow here I was getting something a bit too dark, yes, too dark, remember that. But if we ignore some stuff here, some appealing colors. But you see, there is no comparison between this simple geometry, simple effects here. No, not simple effects, but simple geometry here with a character, right? Stylized character, or even realistic. So I don't think we can, this on the character would, yeah, it will be too dark, and as it gets bright we start to get bad stuff. I think that's the some of the issues. And maybe I'm wrong and there is still hope for pure EV, but I won't. This is an inspiration, but why then spontaneously I don't get it on the other, on the Dorothy. So when I bring her here with that compositing set, which I'll need to resave, right, reappend, we'll do yeah, we will need to consider that one. Yeah, let's do this right now. So we're gonna bring here, we're gonna, okay, it's a group, so we're gonna do this as a, where would it be? We enter there and we don't see anything. Okay, it's here. So no good. We'll change the name, so Dorothy. And so this is a terrible name, but at least we will be able to, I hope, to distinguish it. And now it's here, but we're gonna find it here somewhere. Oh no, it's not yet. Okay, mark as that's it. Now it should be at the end. And compositing. So let's see if we can read it. No, we can't. So, okay, it's here. We can read. Don't get the dot in the end, but we got this. Save. So I'm gonna bring this, the second one, this one, to the other scene. We're gonna be able to compare them now on that scene. But yeah, not now. It's too late here. We're done, folks. So hope that was interesting. But this is steady progress because I had to revise all this compositing layout, right? And strategy in Blender 4.4.3. I was, last time I touched it, I think I was in Blender 4.4.0, so, or 0.1 at most, and that's many weeks, maybe even more than 1 month ago. So these new findings are revealing of what could be better for the entire project, 3D animation, 3D webcomics. And yeah, I'm very satisfied by this. So have to implement those things. The compositing being solved, that means that, or at least research to a point, well, this will work. Even if some details might still require fixing, investigation, the big chunk of doubt, oh, I don't know how, if it will be good or not. No, now I'm sure it will be great with the valuable effort, technically feasible. You saw the results, right? So just playing with the thing. Then I can freely jump to, more easily, let's say, jump to shaders, materials, texturing, and see the results, right, happening already with the compositing, and that is the even greater. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Take care and happy blending. Have a nice weekend. I'll be back on the weekend, by the way, and so happy blendering. See you soon, folks.